Heavy Metal Sausage Company is a deli, and then it is a restaurant on Thursday and Friday nights. The mix of meat products available are definitely spanning multiple cultures. We push into the realm of unseen products like Zan Blue Works, Laborverse. The shop is a combination of more than just what the typical person would think of coming into a deli, and overall just helping build a community around locally sourced products. Hey, my name's Pat Alfiero. I'm the chef and co-owner at Heavy Metal Sausage Company, so why don't you guys come on in. So this is the shop, all 250 square feet of it. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. we are a deli. Thursday and Friday nights, we transform into a restaurant that we call Trattoria. The deli case changes depending on the day. So this is all of our production space. We have a pretty simple layout, butcher block, a little low boy over there, a pasta cooker for dinners at night, a few induction burners and an oven. Oh man, why did I do this? It's 9 a.m., our dishwasher broke, and we're gonna fix that first. The grounding prong broke off in the outlet, so until we can call our dishwasher company who we rent this from, I'm gonna put a new plug on it so we can use it for today and probably tomorrow, probably for the next week. Calling a repairman does not give me an item to then make money off of. In a business that's our size, those outside expenses can be what could like damage us or hurt us if there's too many of them. All right, let's see if this works. I'm not an electrician. Don't do what I do. Call someone if you need to. Yay. Okay, now we can prep. So it's 9:32 and we're really far behind now. The first task is we have to pull the beef out of the oven that braised overnight. The beef is for Trattoria service Thursday and Friday night for entree. So these are beef shanks that we got from Happy Valley Meat Co-op. We took them off the bone. We braised them in red wine and some veal stock and a whole lot of onions. Today we're gonna reduce the braise and turn it into somewhat of a coating stew-ish sauce. So the Trattoria dinners, we want to put out grandma vibes. So trying to do some like classical things, but just do them in like a fun way that's maybe a little different. So this is loosely based off of a Sicilian dish where the wine is Marsala instead of red, but there is still like lots of onions and you reduce the braise and caramelizes the onions. Tomorrow we'll caramelize everything and then mix everything back together. Al, we're coming down. So this will go in the walk-in. Tomorrow we'll portion them out for dinner service. This is Alessandra. This is our lonely full-time employee. She's just down here kind of chipping away at some things.
So I'm just finishing up mustard. Got the chickens butchered, and then I'm gonna move on to Zan Blue Works.
Alessandra, her main role here is to take care of heavy metal as the deli. And then I'm, especially on Wednesdays, are focusing on Trattoria and getting big projects done for that. So next up, we're gonna strain some stock, roast some bones, get another stock running. So let's get to it. So it's about 10:15. This will be a duck and goose body stock. So we're gonna roast bones, get them in the pot. This is a goose body. This is a duck body. Geese are definitely a little bit bigger. The geese, we save the bodies for stock for us. Then we take the whole breastplate off, dry age that for our December menus. We braise the legs, dry age, and roast the breasts. It's a nice dish. It's fun. We did it last year and I want to do it again this year. The difference in flavor between geese and duck, I find that geese are a little bit more hearty. They have a little bit more oil. They're a little bigger, so they have maybe a little more texture. And they definitely hold up to dry aging pretty well. So for the ducks, we remove the breasts, remove the legs, save the bones for stock. Or now that it's soup season, we will put the bones in the case and sell them for people who want to make soup at home. So we're just going to load these in the oven. These will roast at 400 for, I don't know, 45 minutes, half an hour until like the color's right. Then we'll throw them in the pot. We have a delivery coming. It's 10:20. We're gonna go grab that. It's mostly wheat berries and flour. We are going to be milling some of those wheat berries to make our own flour. We mill about 50% of our flour here in-house, at least for our breads. We mill all of our pasta flour in-house. There are some flavor benefits to milling. When you use white flour, it all kind of like tastes the same. But when you use whole wheat, fresh milled flour, you're really getting a lot of different flavors to the point where we'll actually, depending on the pasta sauce, change what flour we use to like best match that sauce. When we're milling, I've found that I have an almost allergic reaction to the flour dust. The rye's the worst of all of them. I typically wear a mask while I'm milling. This is actually a common thing for bakers as well. You get like, I think it's called baker's lung, but it's just from inhaling flour. We're milling about 5 kilos of rye, and then after the rye's done, and I'm gonna weigh that out now, we're gonna mill about 2.5 kilos of hard wheat that will then get sifted. It's important to sift it, I think, for 2 reasons. The first is we don't really, as a people, enjoy whole wheat pasta all that much. I think that it definitely has this connotation of being like a health food and like you have to suffer to eat it kind of feeling. The other thing is that structurally, it's easier to build gluten when there's no bran in the way. So the bran essentially acts like little razor blades when you're trying to make a dough. And if you don't want to deal with those little razor blades, then you just sift it out. Super simple. We have a sifter. It's got sieves. Put the flour in it. Turn it on. It vibrates. Sifts the flour. We used to do this by hand. It sucked. Now we don't do it by hand. It doesn't suck. So it's 11 o'clock. It's time to get the second smoke on these ring bologna that we make in-house. We use our oven, which isn't a smoker, but we've made it into a smoker. So we pretty much take a pan of wood chips like this. These are coming from one of our farmers who had a bunch of fruit trees that they took down, chipped them up, and now sell them as firewood, which is really useful. We light it, close the door, and then we control the smoke level by controlling the fan speed. So the higher fan we do, the harder it'll smolder, the more smoke it creates. The second smoke brings it to the internal temperature it needs to be to make it food safe and ready to eat. So 155 degrees for these. And then the second smoke also kind of solidifies the like beautiful amber color of the smoked meats. I grew up with ring bologna and it's something that's like near and dear to my heart. And I wanted to give it to Philly. And I'm just really proud of the fact that we've been able to do this, not having like the necessarily proper pieces of equipment to do so. So before the day gets away from me, I want to introduce my partner, Melissa. She does almost all the front of house and all the back end stuff that keeps the business running and humming away.
Just getting the menus all set to send out to the dinner guests this week. We are BYOB, but I do like to come up with pairings every week for our guests. I am a certified sommelier, so I like to kind of lend people a hand in choosing what they bring in for dinner each week. I mean, it's a small space, so we can max do 14 people. So it does have a communal setting. Up until very recently, we lived upstairs, so it is very much like coming into our home.
It is 11:30 right now. Alessandra is going to be doing the Zan Blue Works. It's been here since the shop opened. So it's an all pork sausage that is mixed with blood and cured pork tongue, stuffed into a large diameter casing. And then we use these as like a cold cut deli meat. We double grind to finely ground sausage. It'll allow the sausage to become more homogeneous, similar to bologna. You want to grind on the larger die first so we don't build up too much friction because heat's the enemy here and we don't want the fat in the meat to get too warm. If it does, it will not be able to bind itself together with the blood and everything else that's in it, and it will break out of its homogeneous mix while it's cooking.
I was not someone who grew up eating blood products, so this was definitely something that I was admittedly apprehensive to. I think it's a dynamic sausage to have. I love having it on the menu. It definitely takes a moment for people to digest and understand what we're doing with it. But I think that it's a great example to showcase at least one organ. So you have these pockets of the tongue that are really beautiful and are contrasted with the blood. I think it's awesome. It's a really sturdy, hearty sandwich overall, served on rye with some pepper relish, lettuce, and garlic mayo.
And then from this point, we will mix in the blood and pork skin puree. I wanted to do a blood-based deli meat mostly for me, but also to get people to start looking at things a little differently. And I think that maybe even just in our little bubble, we've been able to do so. So ring bologna's done on its second smoke. These will air dry for about an hour. That'll help the color deepen and get around the whole thing. Oxidization will occur, and that helps with color development in smoked sausages and smoked products. And then we'll get them in the walk-in when they're ready to go in. So it's about 12 o'clock. We're gonna get our dough made. The dough is for pasta for this weekend Trattoria dinners. It will be a ravioli that's gonna have a sheep filling of some form, most likely some chilies, some dried oregano, maybe a little cheese. We're still workshopping it, the old brain hole. So we get our eggs from Horseshoe Ranch. This is their words, best damn eggs, and I agree with that. We'll set this to 1. We'll get it rocking. We'll just add our eggs. And this will mix for about 10 minutes or so. We'll let it do its thing. While that's mixing, we're gonna start mixing some bread. First of 5 breads that we're gonna be making today is the focaccia. Because we don't really sell bread, I don't like to consider us in the same realm as a bakery. I'm especially being friends with a good amount of bakers in the city. They are so much more talented than I am. I've just kind of figured out how it works best for us. The next bread we're gonna do is the penne. So the Northern Italian rye bread. We use this for our sandwich bread, and then we also use it in the dinners as a part of our bread service. This does not get mixed in the mixer. This is all hand. If like 3 years ago, you would have told me that I was gonna make the same bread recipes every day for a year, I probably would have told you that you're fucking nuts. Cause like I just move so fast. Like I wanna change and I wanna, but like the bread is like, you can make the same dough every day and it's different every day and it's frustrating and interesting. And so now we're gonna pull the pasta, it's ready. I'll give it a quick knead, make sure it's good. And then we'll wrap in the plastic wrap. It'll soften out a little bit in about an hour or 2, hydrate fully, and then we'll be able to roll some pasta. It's now 2 o'clock. Alessandra's gonna start stuffing Zan Blue Works that you saw her mix earlier.
We're gonna start with capicola, and the capicola is gonna be stuffed by hand. So yesterday, what I did was I cured some pork, let it sit overnight, and so now we're ready to go. They get compressed to kind of eliminate any air pockets, and then once it's as tight as possible, then we cook it off. It has a really lovely, subtle warmth to it. We add Calabrian chilies in, and I love that it's more of a disjointed deli meat. It's not a homogenized one, so you really get to see the result of this cubed pork. It's a circular tying motion, so we're really trying to compress it as much as possible and eliminate as much air as possible. So by using like centrifugal force, it makes it a little bit easier than sitting here and tying it on a surface. Once we're done, I double knot it. We cut the edges off so it can actually fit in the oven. We always perforate the casings after we're done stuffing to allow for some air. And then we're gonna move to Zan Blue Works. So now we're actually gonna use the stuffer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Zan Blue Works farce, we're gonna put it into this capsule, and it's important that when you're putting it in, that we're not incorporating too much air. Alrighty, we are in. Can't wait to find out later if I got sausage in my armpit or not. It's important to really have like a continuous flow and be steady with how you're cranking. All right, so we're at the end. And there she is in all her glory. Pat, you wanna come feel?
Yeah. Pop these first.
Yeah. So we're gonna hang these, and then once we're ready, we're gonna put them into the oven. They're gonna cook in perforated pans for about 3 hours, and then they'll go downstairs to be hung again, and then we'll be ready to go for tomorrow for service, for retail, for sandwiches.
While under pressure, it's being cooked and it's expanding. It's pushing out liquid, it's pushing out gelatin. And then as it cools down, it all contracts back together into a solid, sliceable thing. All right, it's 3 o'clock. Now that those are in the oven, we're gonna start making a filling for our raviolis. We kind of make these things up as we go. We had rendered a bunch of sheep fat 2 weeks ago, and we saved all the particle bits that were left over from that rendering. We're gonna take that and we're gonna turn it into a pasta filling with ricotta. We have some beef filling here that was from another batch that we'll fold in. We'll probably give it some spices, maybe some Calabrian chili, some coriander, a little bit of garlic. We'll see what happens. I don't know yet. We're gonna be using the dough from earlier that you saw us mill and make with all those beautiful eggs. It's really just like looking at what we have available to us, looking at what we need to get rid of, looking what maybe I spent too much money on and now I need to make some money back. Just give it a little. The nice thing with it is that it's already cooked and everything. I have an idea of what the sauce is gonna be like. White wine, some chilies, very straightforward, maybe some like dried oregano. So I really don't want to overly spice the filling if I'm gonna have those things as the sauce. I also really love making people feel like they like just ate way too much and have to go lay on a couch. You know, it's such a good feeling. Until Melissa tells me that I have to go do something and then I get up reluctantly. Living and working with your life partner, I think, is pretty tough, and we go through, you know, highs and lows. Melissa's over there like waiting for me. What's this motherfucker gonna say?
Being able to like have somebody that understands everything that you're going through and is right there with you is really nice, and not everybody gets to experience that. You know, if we can survive this, we can survive anything.
We just finished the filling. It's good to go. So now we're gonna just sheet out some pasta. We use this little handy dandy ravioli mold. So we'll do this fold, and then we'll do a couple double folds until it gets the right width, and then we'll do our final roll through. So we're just putting little balls of filling in. Put this sheet over top. Now a nice little sheep ravioli. Cool. And that's it. Raviolis are made. All right, guys, it's 5 o'clock. We got some pumpkins to roast, some vegetables to steam, some ricotta to whip. It never really ends. So you guys got to get out of here. But thanks for coming in, and please swing in and eat some of our food. Okay, bye. Go Birds.